Alright, my fellow Synchron enjoyers, welcome back. Today I want to do a little discussion on the Banlist and how we going to substitute the loss of our beloved Baronne de Fleur. It's pretty heavy hit to our deck actually. At first I thought, well, that won't be too bad, just put in another Synchro 10 or something, like a Chengying. But then during first test hand sessions on Dueling Book and stuff, I found that it's actually a bit more challenging to find a card that fills the niche of Baronne de Fleur. And I came to the conclusion that there's nothing like Baron actually. So yeah, how do we work around this? So I thought about some replacements like Shen, for example. A pretty strong card. It is a floodgate and provides you a bit of recursion as well, because if your opponent does it during his turn, you can bring her back on your turn. That's decent, I would say. And also it's pretty easy and generic to summon. If you're getting hand trapped to death or something, you can still fall back on this card, because via Diabell Star and chat lines and stuff, even if they cut you off of all your adventure access and removed your Fenrir or something, or this card is just pretty easy to fall back to. But what I don't like about it is that it just opens up the problem of losing to cards like Evenly or Talents, or just like generic board breakers, which in the past we, thanks to the Omni-Negate of Baron, haven't had any problems with. But now we are running into them, and I think that in the upcoming format these cards will be more popular again, because they are viable now, or more viable than before go. And so yeah, that let me shy away a bit from Shen, because even if we hand rip for 3 and then negate the normal summon that our opponent has with Crystalwing or something, he can then go like boom, Talents draw 2, or boom, Talents take and use an extender, and then just pick apart our board and getting a comeback. So what I thought about was maybe playing these two, because this one allows us for our Crimson Dragon to be still more flexible, because in the past with Baron, what we could do, we could obviously summon this pair off of Crimson Dragon, or we could go Trishula by level modulating Excel or targeting Croc. So playing these will give us a bit of, or will maintain the flexibility of Crimson Dragon. We even have another level 8 now to go into, where sometimes, like you've seen in my combo video, probably you can do those niche lines where you summon an Omega and then go into Crimson Dragon and cheat a Crystalwing out that way. You can also get this one now, and or you can level modulate just as before with Excel and then bring out Hot Red to access another Omni-Negate. And if you play both, then you kind of have the inherent flexibility of Baron, in the sense that this guy here is as generic to summon as Baron, and then you are just one pitch for Jet or one Revolution Synchron Mill away to get Hot Red out. That's pretty good. The only issue I see is that they are requiring 2 extra deck slots, so I'm not sure yet what to cut there. Do we get rid of Trish and just focusing on double hand rip with Omega, which is still pretty strong? Do we get rid of Croc even? But this one is just too flexible, and sometimes the draw you get off of him is important actually, and comes in clutch, so I feel like this card really has a place in our extra deck. You could potentially get rid of Librarian if you want to, but that would change up your lines completely. But I wanted to keep the deck list as close as possible to the one that I've been playing for the last few tournaments, because I just really like the flow of the list, and also the extra decks flowing pretty nicely. So I think these cards will stay in the deck. Especially Trishula is just so strong to have that non-targeting banish even going second when you perform your combo there, because more often than not, you have to sacrifice the battle phase to attack over something with Fenrir or with Diabellstar, and then Trishula allows you to keep picking apart their board and cutting them off some follow-up during your main phase 2. So I think these cards are here to stay. What I'm playing now, thanks to this guy, is the Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. You can just access this guy with a Crimson Dragon targeting Dispatter. He's a spell trap negate, and he can make himself immune to monster effects, which is pretty strong, and he also gains attack permanently, so he gets pretty big. Even if they pick apart your board and you keep this guy, like for example, they activate a spell trap and you negate it, and then they go evenly afterwards, you can still just keep him and make him pretty hard to out, because then, as soon as they activate a monster effect, you just chain his effect to make him immune, so they can't out this guy during main phase 2, and if that monster you reacted to happened to have a decent amount of attack points, this guy's getting beefy. The only issue I have with him is that with the current list, you can't access this guy at all. You would have to run a Declearwing Synchro Dragon, because he requires one Clearwing non-tuner. One other thing I wanted to mention was adding the Synchro Rumble back into the deck, because it allows for your standard right and chat line as you are used to. The only difference is that you're summoning Crimson Dragon twice via reviving him with Synchro Rumble, so he's level 3 again. And then you go with your spare Trishula and the Revolution Synchron into Crimson Dragon again, and then you can target the Dispatter on the opponent's turn to bring out the Crystal Clearwing. But during some testing on Dueling Book, I found this card, I don't know, it felt a bit cloggy. It messed up my deck list, and I decided to keep the main deck exactly as it was. Speaking of which, for the complicity, I would say let's go over the deck list pretty quickly. So like I said, nothing changed basically. It's still the lineup as we are used to, with those one-offs. Still the maxed out adventure package with the Foolish Burial, nothing changed there. Same goes for the level 7 package with the Diabellstar and Fenrir, all maxed out. And the non-engine is sure debatable with the upcoming changes, but for now I'm still running this lineup. And then, also the extra deck, basically nothing changed. Still the same lineup as you are used to. The only difference now obviously is running the Crystal Clearwing over Baronne de Fleur. Or I mean, I will try a list with those two cards later when I have the time. But for now, that's what I'm running. And let's have a quick look on how the main combo changes, so that you have an idea of how the list plays out now, how the main combo is done. I just want to quickly show jet and write. I'm gonna show off some different lines in the future, but for now, this is what we're going to look at. So we start with write, getting the token and the fateful. Then we wanna activate fateful effect to search the griffin, discarding one in our hand, and then we bring him out. Then we wanna normal summon the jet. Synchro those into Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, activate his effect to bring jet back. You could chain block here, like, you know the drill, if you've seen my combo video. Yeah, you can chain block him by activating Fateful and getting the Draco back. You know it by now, you know how it's done. So we're getting a Stardust and the Speeder, which brings out these guys, activating Stardust Synchron to grab ourselves the Illumination. Then we go for Crystal Wing, activate Illumination to summon Trail. And like I said, we have two different lines here, one that uses Librarian and one that doesn't. So on the flip side, the one that uses Librarian only rips 2, the one that doesn't use Librarian rips 3. So I approach this like if my opponent already used some hand trips to stop me from comboing, but I still managed to push through, I probably depleted all of my hand resources, so I'm gonna do the Librarian line to get back on card advantage. If I'm uninterrupted, you could go for the triple hand rip. That's how I'm viewing it right now. You can drop your opinion on that in the comments. Yeah, but let's continue with the non-Librarian line. So what we're doing there is we're going for Excel, activating Trail's effect to get out a level 1 token. Then we are using the Excel to drop a Stardust Synchron into the graveyard, make him level 9. Then we go for Crimson Dragon, target the Excel, summon our Trishula, and ripping the first card. Then we are going to tribute the Excel for Stardust and Trail. And then we go Omega, activating his effect, ripping another card. Next we can go a Revolution effect, bring him out. You could also use Jet there, how you want, doesn't matter. Synchro off into Disparter, bring the Omega back, activate effect again to rip the third one. And now we're going to use Illumination, targeting the token because it's a Stardust monster and we bump its level up by 1, so it's level 2. And I think you can already see where I'm going with this. Summon a Synchro 4 in form of Herald of the Arclight. So as you can see, no main deck changes required to achieve basically the same board. Still 2 monster negates, 1 omni negate with triple hand rip. What do you think about it? And with that being said, let's check out the Librarian line. All right. So let's go back to this point in the combo and check out the Librarian line. So here we again activate the Illumination. We're summoning the TG. Next we want to go Crimson Dragon and Librarian to draw 1. As always, and as we did previously, we're going to tribute off the Assault Synchron to bring out Stardust Synchron and Stardust Trail. Next I'm going to discard a card from hand to get the Jet out, which gets us into the Excel. Chainlink 1 Librarian, Chainlink 2 Trail, giving us a token. And then we're drawing 1. Then we use Excel Synchron to mill a Stardust Synchron from deck. And here we are going for the Dispatter, drawing another one. And then we go Crimson Dragon, target the Dispatter to get the Crystal Clear Wing out, drawing another one. And then we can, as previously, go for Illumination, reducing Stardust's level by 1 to bring out the Omega, and then we can use Omega's effect, ripping one from hand, and Dispatter bring him back, and we can rip another one. So yeah, that's how the combos, how the main combo changed. Feel free to drop your opinion about the lines down in the comments, and I'm interested in your takes. So see you in the next one.